And to politics tonight, newly elected Congressman Michael Cloud says he's disappointed in the lack of progress in resolving the partial federal government shutdown, now on its 14th day. Cloud, who describes himself as a conservative Republican, spoke with us by phone from Washington today, saying, not surprisingly, that he blames top Democrats for, in his words, not being willing to negotiate on the question of a border wall.
We went from a request of $25 billion in securing our border down to 5.7. And there were talks of even 2, and still we couldn't find any agreement on it. And so we need to get a point where we can move forward and get our government up and running again.
President Trump said again today he could keep parts of the government shut down for months or even years if talks with the Democratic leadership remain stalled.